Hey guys, my name's David, and about almost 3.5 years ago, I recorded a version of U2's All I Want Is You on my Broken Ukulele channel. And over the time, I've gotten a number of requests on how I play it. So I'm going to show you how I do it. By no means is it the right way to play. Um, Definitely take what I do and make it your own, make it original. Um, the difficult thing in doing this tutorial was, do I show you how to play it on baritone like I do? Or do I show you how to play it on a standard ukulele, which more people are going to have? I'm going to show you how I do it on my baritone since it's about how I play it. But I will show you in a manner in which you can adapt it to your standard ukulele. I tend to sing lower than I should, and I tend to not be capable of singing a lot of songs that I like in the original key because of my lower voice and my lack of big scale in my voice. So while I play this on the baritone, I'm actually playing it essentially 6 frets lower than the song is originally recorded in. So if you're going to play along with my recording of this on a baritone, you're gonna see how to do that. If you want to play along with the original to practice, or your voice happens to be higher and it's more suited to that range, you're either going to capo on the 6th fret on a baritone ukulele, or you're going to capo, you're going to use the same chord shapes that I'm using on my baritone on your standard ukulele, and you're going to capo on the 1st fret. If you're kind of new to the ukulele and you don't have a capo, I highly suggest getting one so that you can move the key that your song is in very easily while you try and find your vocal range, your proper vocal range. I happen to love these little clamp ukuleles instead of the big sort of springy sort of ones. I feel like this is so low profile that you can really get away with feeling like barely anything is there. So on the or we have very easy chords for this one. It's just a 3-chord song, and it's chords that you are probably familiar with very quickly in starting the ukulele. Now, I will show you on the baritone. This is a D, okay? But this is your G chord shape on a regular ukulele, okay? So anytime I say D on the baritone, just think G on your regular ukulele, okay? This is a G on this ukulele, but it is just like a C on your standard ukulele. And this is B minor on a baritone, or as you can see, it's the same as the E minor on your standard ukulele. Now for me, when I play the B minor on a baritone, or I am using that shape on a standard ukulele with a low G, I always like fretting the 4th string on the 4th fret. I feel like when you have linear strings instead of reentrant strings, it's a better sounding chord than playing it. I feel like that open G is just kind of unpleasant. So when you see me playing B minor, aka the E minor shape on the baritone, I am using fingers on all 4 strings. So the first thing that is probably worth going over to jump into the song now that we know what our chords are, is the strum pattern. I am never really aware of what strum patterns are, and whenever I get asked them, I have to spend a few minutes in my head thinking about what I do, how I do it. This one I seem to mostly do this format. Now I'm going to put it on the screen, and I am going to put it in the notes on the video because it sounds terribly complicated. And I'm going to use capital D for the accented, heavier beats. But my strum pattern that I generally use throughout this is down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, up. Did that sound complicated enough? What it essentially sounds like is this. So practice that over and over again, and then you basically have the strumming pattern to the whole song. The two exceptions to that would be the intro to the song that I do on just the two strings. Tends to be a bit more sparse. And right when I go into, right after the chorus vocals have finished, I tend to strum down 4 times for emphasis on that section. I generally just do that at the beginning of that only one time. So that's your strum patterns. Now, the way I open the song is playing on just the 3rd and 4th string, the top 2 strings. I thought it made it sound more impactful when all the strings came in after the first bit of vocals. So it's going to sound different if you don't have an instrument with linear strings and you have reentrant strings. That sounds when I play it. And by the way, I got to point out, this is a $60 ukulele. This is one of the cheapest that you can get. And if you don't have a baritone, I highly suggest adding it to your arsenal. It's just such a lovely sound. It is one of the most worthwhile purchases that I ever made. I didn't even put fancy strings on it. I have the junky ones it came with. And I am in love with this thing. So I can't suggest getting one enough. But anyway, so the difference in that intro, if you have reentrant strings, I actually have a baritone that I have strung with reentrant strings. You're going to see it has a different tone. Kind of prefer this song with the linear strings, but make do with what you have. Now, in order to mute those 2 other strings and not hit them by accident, what I'm doing for that beginning section is I'm making my D chord, or the shape of the G on a regular ukulele, and I'm allowing these fingers here to just sit on top of the notes to mute them, so that I don't have to be so precise with just making sure I'm hitting the top 2 strings, because the other ones So when I'm on the D to the C, I'm just lifting this finger off the second fret of the third string. And then when I go up to my B minor, aka the E minor on a standard ukulele, I'm just sliding these fingers up, still muting those two strings, and hitting the fourth fret on the third and fourth strings. So that's how I'm muting. And then my fingers are ready to press down on that chord when it's time to come in after those beginning vocals. The other thing that I do a lot in this song is lifting fingers off to give the song a little bit more flavor. So my D here, which is shaped like our C on our standard ukulele, I'm lifting constantly off on that bottom, on that first string there, making a D suspended 2 chord, or the G suspended 2 shape on a standard ukulele. So play around with, when I'm on my B minor, I'm lifting that bottom string a bit to give it a little bit more flavor. Other than that, the major difference after the chorus has gone that I do is I loved the sound of going up to the 7th and 5th frets when playing the G. Remember, that's the chord that looks like a C on a standard ukulele. So instead of going, we're going up and we're just strumming on the 7th and 5th fret on that first string. And it's going to take a little while of probably watching your fingers before you comfortably go there. That's probably the trickiest part of the song, is being able to hit that 7th and 5th fret while you're singing and while you're not looking. And then when I finish the song, I tend to make my chords a little bit more quieter as I'm going to the end. And I love ending on that D sus2 chord, the G sus2 shape. Just think it gives it a really nice feel to the ending. So I think that covers everything. If I've missed anything, or you can think of other ways that I could make this more helpful, leave me a comment, and I will have links. I'll put up the chords on the Dropbox for you to follow along with, in both the baritone shapes and the regular ukulele shapes. And I guess that's it. Hopefully that helped. You guys take care. Bye.